salute by the City of Philadelphia Police, and Amazing Grace performed by the Greater Pittsburgh Police Emerald Society Pipe and Drums Corps. Roll call for presentation of Ultimate Sacrifice medals included 2 Beaver County officers, and Aliquippa Police Chief Robert W. Sealock and Interim Ambridge Police Chief Mark J. Remutis. PennDOT is announcing drilling operations on Interstate 376, the Beaver Valley Expressway, and Route 68 in Vanport Township that will occur throughout the day today. Drilling operations requiring single-lane restrictions will occur until 3 p.m. this afternoon in each direction at the Route 68 Midland Beaver exit 38A and B interchange as crews conduct drilling operations. Additionally, lane restrictions will occur on Route 68 between H Street and Division Lane. PennDOT is announcing lane restrictions on Route 65 Ohio River Boulevard in the city of Pittsburgh that will occur tomorrow, weather permitting. A lane restriction will occur on the ramp that carries traffic from Marshall Avenue to southbound Route 65 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. tomorrow. Crews from Larson Design Group will conduct bridge inspection work in the area. Authorities say a former Alabama jail official has died, and the murder suspect she is accused of helping escape from custody has been apprehended in Indiana after more than a week on the run. The 2 fugitives were caught Monday in Evansville, Indiana, after U.S. Marshals pursued their vehicle and then crashed into it. Officials say Casey White surrendered and Vicky White shot herself and was taken to the hospital. The 2 are not related. Vanderburgh County Coroner Steve Lockyer said White died from her injuries. The arrest ended a nationwide manhunt that began on April the 29th.
Here's the Beaver County forecast on 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Sunny skies today with a high of 76 degrees. Overnight tonight, mostly clear, low down to 49. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high 79. The nice warming trend will continue on Thursday with more sunny skies and a high of 81. Friday, mostly sunny, high 81. Saturday, afternoon showers are likely with a high of 81 degrees. And then Sunday, showers and possibly a thunderstorm with a high of 79 degrees. That is a look at the news for now. I'm Frank Sparks, Beaver County Radio News, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and beavercountyradio.com.
Now it's time to talk on Teleforum on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, 99.3 FM, and beavercountyradio.com. And now here is the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas. Special guest with me this hour. It's a public announcement, I guess, because some public knows, but not a lot of it knows. Kevin Green joins me. Kevin runs the City Rescue Mission, but you might not be running it soon. Walk me through this, because this is all news to me, and I ask you off the air, and you're like, no, people know what's up. Jacqueline is here, and Jack's the reason that I'm asking Kevin what I'm asking. First off, welcome. How you doing? Where are you going?
Thanks, Eddie. Thanks for the opportunity to come on air. Yes, we are following up a weekend, Friday and Saturday at the City Rescue Mission. We had an open house event, and there's a detailed article in the Beaver County Times this morning, or at least I saw it online, that talks about all of the ministries of the mission and things that people can find out what we do and how we do it and the people we love each and every day at the City Rescue Mission Ministries. I'm stepping away as of June 30th and leaving the ministry in the hands of Mr. Jack Lynn, who's here with us today.
Wait, where are you going?
Yeah. I'm stepping into retirement. I'm dipping my toe in the water, so to speak. And yet I'm staying close to the phone in case they might need me somewhere at our mission in Newcastle or rescue missions across the country.
All right, for people that don't know, talk about what City Rescue Mission does.
Yes, so City Rescue Mission Ministries are a privately funded outreach ministries that's been around for 111 years. Although our buildings are located in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, we serve a wide area, the western Pennsylvania region of Lawrence and Beaver and Butler and Mercer counties. We typically see men come to our ministry from actually all over the country sometimes.
Really?
It doesn't matter where they're from, but we shelter the homeless or those who are on the streets. We feed the hungry and all those who come to our ministries. And families in our family care ministry as well. And we offer the hope to them through the gospel of preaching and teaching of Jesus Christ. And that's our call. We see ourselves as missionaries that are making ourselves available to a lost world. And again, I've been doing it in leadership at the mission for 22 years. And although we've sort of transitioned over the last 2 years, it's finally coming to near the end, and we're just grateful that we have an opportunity to continue service for the next 100 years, unless Jesus returns.
And then everybody gets out of their lease at that point, don't they?
Yes,
right.
that's right, Eddie.
How have you maintained your emotional ability to do this? How long have you been first with the ministry,
yes,
but with City Rescue? How long has that been a part of your life? Because that's not a part of your life, that becomes your life.
Yes, actually, outreach ministry. I had a life-changing event in 1996 where I fell and broke my back in the backyard of my home in Beaver County in Brighton Township. And I knew that I was raised in the church and was far away from the Lord. And I knew that that was the time that I needed to make a change in my wife's life. And I recommitted my life to Christ at a local church, Beaver Baptist Church, and it put me on a journey of serving. And so I was a corporate executive ahead of that.
That was about to be my question. What were you doing before the life-changing event?
Yes.
You were a corporate guy.
Yeah, I was a CFO, an accountant by training, and so I was laying in a back brace with a broken back, and said, Lord, what would you have me do? And it led me to investigate the Light of Life rescue mission in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Tunch and Wolf.
Yes, and so Tunch became a great friend of mine since
wonderful
1998.
Human being, yeah.
And he recently passed away. But Tunch and myself and I worked at Light of Life for about a year, and then a call came to Newcastle that the executive director was really sick in physical situation, and so I went to help out in Newcastle, and I've never left. So my call to ministry again is one of those questions of why did you never go back to corporate life? Kevin, you went. You made a complete change, and I said because I was led by the Lord. It's the word vocation in life means a calling in life. If you look it up. And so you could be called to be a carpenter. Your vocation could be an electrician. For me, I was an accountant by training, but my vocation, my calling in life, I believe, was to reach out to those in need.
All right, Jack, how did you come to be in line to replace a life story like that? Was it a moment an epiphany for you that led you to the ministry, or was it a life that you lived within the church and it just seemed like a continuation? Because you're stepping into some big steps.
I'm stepping into some huge shoes to fill. But I did not have a big life-changing event like Kevin did. Mm-hmm. But through my life, my upbringing through the church, I always felt I was called to something. And like Kevin, I'm trained as an accountant. So I spent my first 20 years of my career in public accounting.
Okay.
Met Kevin about 12 years ago through that. Built a good relationship and always respected what the City Rescue Mission did.
All right. How many sermons a year do you do that have something to do with fiscal responsibility between the two of you? Because I know old habits seep back in a little, right?
Yes.
They do.
Every time we speak, we talk about stewardship, getting 6 cents out of every nickel that our donors give to the ministry. It's really important that we talk about obedience to the Lord in stewardship of his resources, because everything is his. And so as accountants, we might know to count the numbers and make them count, but at the same time, we know that the Lord is in charge of all, even every family finances of each person listening. And I know there's struggles and I know there's triumphs, but the Lord is in charge. And when you consider that, then you know that Christian stewardship is an absolutely wonderful thing. And so we think it's important, and we speak of it often.
Kevin Green is my guest. Jack Lynn is my guest. We're talking about the City Rescue Mission. Kevin is retiring, dipping his foot into the retirement, and Jack will be taking over. Are people being drawn back to the Lord more or less because of the current travails? Is it busier? Or are people moving away from the church?
Yes, and that's still a problem. We had to lock down ourselves with 60 men in house during the COVID epidemic.
Right.
It was one of those wild experiences, and Jack led the charge through cleaning the building and new protocols and segregating men in different rooms. We used every room in our building to keep men separate so that we didn't spread COVID if, in fact, it came in our door. So coming out of that, we've seen a lot of, and remember that during COVID, a lot of churches were closed, or in some states, forced to close.
Right, forced to close.
So they're still seeing their way back to getting to full congregation strength. But you know what, Eddie, that they surrendered a lot of things, and they committed to financially supporting our ministry throughout the whole 2-year COVID experience. And we've just been so blessed by the finances and the giving of others, individuals, businesses, and church congregations, that let us keep our doors open to the hungry and the homeless and those in need every day.
Jack, these are numbers. And see, I probably wouldn't have asked you this. Now you say you're an accountant. Oh, yeah. What's the budget? What do you have to have in the coffers to keep the ministry running and to keep the services running at City Rescue?
Our annual budget's around $2.3 million a year. And keep in mind, we do not seek any government money, no state, local, federal tax money. So we rely on our donors and we rely on the local churches to support us.
Where does the money go?
The money goes, of course, into paying some salaries, but it also goes into our program, making sure, our recovery program has the newest material that they need and all the books. It goes into feeding the men, upgrading our facilities. We just redid our recovery dorm with brand new beds, wardrobes, dressers. So it all goes back into the ministry and serving those that we serve.
What is the criteria for somebody? I show up on your doorstep, Jack, and I want to be a part of this, and I need somewhere to go. Let me into the rescue mission. What are the criteria? Because the world we live in, you can't just say, okay, come on in, no information needed.
When men come to our doors, or women or children with children, when they come to our doors, we do a basic intake, but we welcome all. We take them in. There are some rules, if anybody's on have a SOGI or sexual defenders list, we cannot take them in. But other than that, anybody can come in. Our services are open to anybody that needs them.
That's absolutely amazing to me. And the money goes to everything from salaries, but you're talking about feeding people too. And you're talking about we don't really make a connection with the basic necessities in life till we don't have them.
Right.
And that's part of what the ministry does. Just simple things like toiletries and being able to function.
Yes.
Correct.
So,
Yes. The statistics really are 86% of every dollar, 86 cents of every dollar goes for the programming, upkeep, and actually living costs of up to 60 men each day. In the men's ministry, we have about 8 women and children over at our women's ministry. Our family care ministry gives food orders for those families in need that are going paycheck to paycheck and can't afford all the groceries they need for their families. And so, yes, it's very important that you know that 86 cents of every dollar is definitely directed straight to our programming. And then, of course, we have some fundraising and administrative expenses and other things on that. But on top of that,
86%
yes,
is far above the average.
Yes, it
far,
is.
Far above the average.
Mm-hmm.
Has the family ministry gotten busier over the last 2 years?
That's an anomaly that we're still trying to figure out,
Okay.
Eddie. It's with all the food handouts and the programs that were implemented during COVID and the increase in food stamp availability,
right.
and each of we leveled off at a spot of serving families and meeting their food needs, and it really hasn't come back since it's the COVID has tapered off.
Does that worry you that they haven't come back, or does that make you feel good? Maybe they didn't need to come back.
Well, I'm feeling good that they've now apparently have received a sufficient level of food stamps to feed their family without our help.
Okay.
And so and that's a great thing. But they need to know that we are always there to serve local families that are in trouble or are between jobs or are just recently unemployed and don't have anything, any dollars coming in.
Real quick, tell people how they can get in touch with you. You've got
Yes.
You're in Newcastle, but let people know how they can get with you.
Make sure you read today's Beaver County Times article about the mission's open house last weekend, and go to www.cityrescuemission.org for a full update on all of our programs and other things that we do. There's a place to donate on there as well, and we love our donors from Beaver County. You help us each and every way. Many times people don't know that we've served Beaver County residents who come to Newcastle to sleep. Our homeless people off the Beaver Falls streets end up in Newcastle with us, and we've had a partnership here with the agencies in Beaver County for many years.
Doesn't that make you feel good that you're doing the work and it's not even about the notoriety or the notice, and you know in your heart that you're still doing the work?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. I told Jack this morning I quickly read that article in the Beaver County Times, and my name isn't mentioned once. And that tells me that we've made a successful 2-year transition to his level or his time of leadership, and that's a good thing.
All right. Well, that's what's going on. Kevin is retiring, and Jack Lynn is taking over. Jack, when you go home at night, what's your favorite part about the work you do during the day? What makes you sleep well?
What makes me sleep well is the impact we can have on somebody's life. When individuals come through our doors, it's all about a life transformation. We want their life to improve. We want to see them come to faith in Jesus Christ. And just going home at night and knowing that you were a small part of that and you changed their life through the services, that's what makes me sleep good at night.
The trajectory of their life is better because you got up that morning.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Eddie, the reality is that men walking in many times have mental health and behavioral health issues.
And chemical issues,
the
sure.
things that made them homeless or
Right.
made them walk the streets or made them get thrown out of wherever they were before. And there's nowhere to go except to a rescue mission ministry. And so we first identify those crisis events that have occurred in their life, and we start there as a way to start building up to a transformed life.
All right, I got a couple minutes. I'm not going to let this go. In addition to the ministry, and in addition to City Rescue Mission, Kevin, you race cars?
Yeah, it's been a long
Do you
time.
get it? Let me ask you this: do you have a separate prayer than the other drivers because you're a minister? Did God give you a special, like an access line or a code or something before a heat?
Well, I keep him close, but I will tell you that I'm a chaplain with Motor Racing Outreach Ministries, located out of Charlotte, the same folks that are chaplains with NASCAR. And we have that as a covering, but I'm there at the racetrack to do ministry to our racing families. And although I have a car at the track, I'm not there to win typically because I don't have the budget or the equipment to win. But I'm there to be a part of the event, and I'm there to love families, and that's what I like to do. Is that I just like to love people and to talk about them. If there's prayer concerns, if Uncle Charlie's has a cancer situation, we just stop right there in the pits and pray for that. But typically, I'll be asked to do the opening invocation and at Mercer Raceway Park or at Tri-City Speedway in Franklin, and I'm proud to do that. Last year, I finished 6th in the points at Mercer Raceway Park in the modifieds.
Okay.
The year before, I was 5th in the points at Tri-City Raceway with my small block modified. And so, again, over the last 20 years of racing in Western Pennsylvania, I've numerous top 10s in the points each year at various tracks, Mercer mostly. But it's just been a family hobby for me.
It's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, it's an expensive hobby, but I have great Christian businessmen that Hunter Lift and Ken Scheiderly Construction that have sponsored my efforts for the last 20 years. They want me to be at the racetrack to be the presence of God to those who we typically wouldn't find in church on a Sunday morning. And that's why I go, to be a chaplain with MRO and to enjoy participating. And racing is great fun. It's not for everyone. We are not there with a death wish, but I know that I'll be in the hands of Jesus if anything else happens. But no, I pray for a safe race each week, and I've been doing that for a long time.
And you run, what is it, the BRP Modified?
Yes, I'm on the BRP Modified Tour, which is big block modified.
That's the one at Lernerville coming up, I think, next week, right?
Yes, we have a tour race on our first one for this year on May 20th. The BRP Tour will be at Lernerville Speedway. I may get there this Friday night for a practice session with the normal group of regulars there. But we expect, a bunch of cars. We have over 40 cars that follow the BRP Modified Tour. I've been helping as the marketing director for the tour this year and last year. So it's been great fun finding sponsors and other people who love what we do and want to support racing into the future. And so we're glad.
All right, one more question. How much is race fuel per gallon these days?
Yes, it's like car fuel. It's very expensive. So it's about $12 a gallon for VP race fuel. And
what kind of mileage is it modified gets? About a half mile?
Yeah, you don't get very good gas mileage. So you go through about 10 or 12 gallons a night. And so you can do the math. It's an expensive proposition.
So you have to cash to have any chance.
Yes, and so marketing and having sponsors get you to the racetrack is a critical component of racing in today's world. Just like NASCAR, IndyCar, or Formula One in Miami over the weekend.
Yeah, that was a crud race. They don't need. Don't get me started.
Okay.
Jack or Kevin, is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't ask you?
Right. Jack, fill in the gaps.
All right. Well, Jack, I tell you what, once you get settled in, what's the transition? You said, what's the date coming up?
July 1st, Jack will take over all the administrative functions and operational. He's been my number 2 for the last 2 years, and so he's learned a lot, but there's still some empty holes we need to fill in the next 2 months. But I'm confident, and the board is confident, that Jack will be the next leader of our ministry and lead us into the future. And that's what we're counting on, that the Lord and our donors and all of those who support us will react and continue to pray for Jack and the staff as they meet people's needs each and every day.
Jack, after you get settled in a couple months, you'll come back, give us an update?
I'll come back. Yes,
absolutely. All right. Jack Lynn and Kevin Green of City Rescue Mission, my guest on Teleforum.
Dr. Mehmet Oz confessed, quote, "I'm not socially conservative." Mehmet Oz is a liberal on guns. Listen to him in his own words.
How do we keep guns out of the wrong person's hands? Red flag laws.
Even worse.